situation here, you know, I'm thinking more as far as lapel chokes go, a bread cutter choke, a step over lapel choke. But I have a lot of arm bar attacks right here too. I have the overhead Kimura, the spin around arm bar, the straight arm bar, all because his arm is right here, right? But if he's framing on the inside, all that becomes very difficult. It's a waste of my time. And this can be uncomfortable for me. So to get rid of that, I pass the arm over the head, I start to look towards the legs, and then I block the hip. And just remember your hip position. My hip should either be connected to his hip, or my hip should be connected to his shoulder. And that's where it's going right here. It's connecting towards the shoulder. And I lay all the weight right there to block the hip. So now, if I'm making him uncomfortable with my hips, leaning on the head, that's what he's thinking about. He's not thinking about any of this stuff, right? So now I grab my lapel and I'm gonna feed it through here. All right, so boom, he didn't even see that. Now before I feed it to this hand, however, I wanna bring this hand around the head now. And now I feed it to the hand. It's gonna give you the tightest, the best feed. And feed it in tight. This hand's pushing and feeding to the other. Now a few more crucial details. The choke requires the lapel to go around his throat, right? I'm pinching it, I'm pulling it tight to the side right now to the carotid artery, pull that tight, but I still need to pull it under his chin across his throat as much as possible. So the angle of my body is very important, and the tension of the lapel is very important. So as I continue to move now, I'm gonna go back to the hip. I like to push off the hip, bring my legs up a little bit. As I do this, I need to pull my lapel tight. By pulling my body away, I'm gonna pull it kind of across my chest. And then my chest is gonna lay down and pull the rest of the lapel down across the throat. You see how my chest is pulling over here? My body weight, that's what lays that across his throat there. So if I'm not doing that, I'm just trying to focus on this, I'm not gonna get what I want, right? I gotta focus on pulling. I pull the hand, but I also drop the chest and the weight down at the same time. So for here, he's got the frame. 1, switch the hips, 2, block the hip, 3. That's just your basic crossbody transition. And now from here, I grab the outside lapel. I go under his arm. I go ahead and switch the hips back. So hip to hip now. I'm gonna pass around the head, grab the lapel. When I grab the lapel, pull it tight to the neck. Now, I'm gonna switch the hips back again. So now I go back hips to shoulder. Hips to shoulder, pull that lapel tight with your body, and then lay on it. And I can bury my head down as far as I need to until I get that choke. So that's uncomfortable frame. 1, switch the hips. 2, block the hip. 3. Grab the outside lapel. Once again, I can distract him by being heavy on the head, you know, with my hip pressure. Come underneath. Forearm rest kind of on the shoulder here. Switch the hips again, hip to hip. Bring that arm around the head and grab that lapel. Feed it right there. And then pull it tight to the neck. Now from here, I go back, switch back hip to shoulder. I block the hips. So it's the same transition like 3 times in this technique. And now I'm dragging it out, creating that pressure. And then last thing, for him, right? He knows I need to rotate. So if I get all the way to this point, you know, he was here, so I'm like, all right, it's a ninja choke it is. And I go here, and then he hugs my head. I've pretty much lost the choke because I can't rotate. So it's a defense in a sense to the choke, but if that's the case, what do? I go back here, I trap the arm, and then I'm back to my other chokes again. I could do a step over right here, actually.
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
With my own lapel, right? So I'll just go back, and I'm gonna get one or the other, right? Wherever that arm is, if I know what chokes I'm supposed to be doing, or whether I wanted to turn that into an arm lock at that point, you know, go for overhead Kimura instead, whatever it is, I'm gonna get it if I understand the process, right? Instead of trying to fight for a ninja choke when he's already got a good defense that stops the ninja choke but completely exposes all these other techniques.